Hello and welcome to another Tech Articles. In today's article, I'm going to talk about one of my plugins, and I'm not making this plugin available. It won't ever be available. It is personal to me, but I am doing this video because somebody asked about it and how I was doing some of the things that I've done in some of my videos, and this is how I do them. So I'm going to give you a little update about what Ninja Updater is, explain how it works, and if there's interest in some of the mechanics behind Ninja Updater, I'm quite happy to talk about them and how it does what it does and how it works. So the specific question I was asked was A, what is it? Because they couldn't find it, and B, how I did something that I did in a previous video, which was to install a bundle. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to install a bundle. So I'm going to install the Cadence bundle, and I'm going to process that installation. And what it'll do is it will now pull from my repo and the wp.org repo all of the parts that are in that bundle, and it will install them for me. And that is it now done. So it's now installed a load of plugins for me. And as you can see here, it's installed these plugins and they are good to go. And it has activated some of them it hasn't, and that's based on if they need activating or not to work. So, for example, ACF has been activated, as you can see, ACF Pro, but Cadence hasn't because Cadence doesn't need to be activated to work. Now, what I can do here also in at the updater, and I'll explain some of that in a second, is I can load a snippet for Cadence and refresh the page, and the warnings go, and all that's doing is changing some stuff for me on the back of this plugin to just remove those two notices. It hasn't activated anything, it's just removing the notices. I find them annoying, and I do actually have a snippet, I believe, that removes even more notices that I can install and set up if I want to. So that was the first main question, and how that works is there are configuration files, and I might be able to open one and uh, that isn't going to expose anything, and I can. So let's pull this one up here, and what this does is this blank install configuration just downloads my WP tasks after install zip file, and that is all it does. It doesn't do anything else. It just if I select that one on a blank install, that is what it will do. Now, if I was, for an example here, I'm going to put one on the screen for another one as well over here, and this is my main WP child configuration file. And what this one does is it installs from the WordPress directory main WP child, from the WordPress directory main WP child reports, and from my public repo it installs child sync. So that's how configuration files work, and that's the basis of the bundles. So that allows me to select a bundle, and just as easy as I installed that Cadence bundle, I can remove that Cadence bundle. So if we remove this and we deactivate and delete bundle items, what it'll now do is it'll do that in reverse, and it will remove our items for us. And it appears to have left one behind, so I'm just going to run that again. And see if that fixes that, and it has. So we've now just left with Ninja Updater again, and everything else has been removed. And if we go back to bundles, I've got more than one type of bundle to install here. The one I actually just showed you about main WP, I haven't pushed yet. This is running an older version. I haven't pushed an update for that, and this allows me to also, if I install another bundle, so if I install that blank button, oh, you won't see anything if I install blank install, basic WordPress install. I process this installation. This will install things like ACF, WP Codebox, DevKit, so you can see that they've appeared here. And if we go to plugins, you'll see they're installed and they're ready to go. It activates what needs to be activated. It doesn't activate what doesn't need to be activated, and that's all based on the bundles and snippets that it runs when it runs. So that's how bundles work. Now, if I deactivate the three plugins that were just installed, I can also use the bundler to delete non-active plugins. And just like that, it deletes all of the non-active plugins, ready to start again. Additionally, with a bundler, I can write one on the fly, a conf file, upload it, and then it will be there available for me as a conf file to install stuff, so that I can write them on the fly. I can also delete the bundle once it's added, because it adds it into the plugin directories for me. So that's the one of the main features of Ninja Updater. It also gives direct access to my personal repo, and allows me to install plugins as I need to. So, for example, if I want to install, just pick one at random that isn't going to kill anything. If I want to install, I don't know. Just trying to think of something. This is install WP Codebox. I know that won't kill anything because it doesn't need. It's got no dependencies. So this is just the latest version of WP Codebox. And all I've done is downloaded that and sent it to my personal repo, and it just downloads it from there. And I can go into some more details about how the repo works. As I say, I won't share this plugin, I won't share the code, but I can explain what it's all built off of. You're more than welcome to create that functionality. So that's what it does in terms of its main two things. I can install from my custom repo. I can also install bundles. It works the same for themes as well. So if we go to themes, there's a custom repo to install themes here. So if I want to install the latest bricks, I can just do that, and it will install the latest bricks for me. And there we go. It's deleted the unneeded one, and we can activate bricks, and bricks is now activated. And with a bit of luck, it did. It all set up in terms of the licensing's all been done as part of the install as well. I wasn't sure if bricks was actually done that, or whether I'd customized foundations to do that for me, but it is, so that's good. It's probably done twice, to be fair. And if we want to change back, we can go back to appearances, we can add a new theme, we can select one at random, it doesn't matter which one, this one here, and then we can delete bricks because we don't need it for this video. So let's activate that, and then this deletes this, and we're now using 2024 again. Another thing that it does is it's a plugin of theme updater, so I can select which themes to pull from my repo. And how this works is it will allow me to, for example, update files that are not activated and installed. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. So welcome back. What I've done is I've just gone to Advanced Custom Fields and downloaded an old version of Advanced Custom Fields, mainly because I'm 100% certain that that's on there because we've installed it a few times. And if I dump this into here and install it, now I've also removed from the database any activation information, so this shouldn't activate on install, because that's key to what I want to show here. So I'm going to activate this plugin, and you now see that we have a plugin. It's old, it's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to updates and plugin, and we're using 6.3.8. Now it's not telling me there's any updates at all there. Let's go to our load snippets, and we're going to delete all transients. I'm going to remove the cadence ones, and I'm also going to actually that should be enough. So plugins, there's just no update currently available for ACF. So if we now go to Ninja Updater, and if I change that to Advanced Custom Fields and save that plugin, head back up here, plugins, you can now see that there's there's an update to the latest version 6.3.12. Now the reason that it couldn't see it before is because it's not activated, so it doesn't know that there's an update available, because when it's not activated, it doesn't contact ACF's server, so it doesn't get notified. But when I tell it to use my repo, my repo knows there's a newer version because it's in there, and it allows me to check for updates, and it allows me to know that there is a new version, that there is 6.3.12, which I believe is the current one, and I will now be able to update that to 6.3.12, even though it's not an activated copy. It's going to pull that from my own server and download that and update me to the latest version. And if I turn this off, we're now back to using normal ACF. So I'm going to now drop the plugin back in. I'm going to drop it here and go backwards. Just uploading it. Place current with the older version, and we go to plugins. Now the database knows that there's an update because it's already got the transients inside, but automatic update is unavailable. And the reason automatic update is unavailable is because this isn't licensed with ACF for download yet. But again, I can override that, selecting my own repo, going back to plugins, and it allows me to update that again because it now knows there is an update and where to get it from. So that works for themes and plugins. So in the same nature, that works for themes and plugins. And I'm just going to disable that now. And that works for almost any plugin. I haven't found a plugin that I can't do this with yet. And I do run some tweaks to the server, which again, if people want to know how I'm doing that and what I'm running behind the scenes, I'm happy to share that. I just won't share all the code that goes with it. So that's that. And I'm actually using some standard GitHub repos that I've just modified, and actually those modifiers are open source, and I have published them to GitHub as well. So I'm going to turn off Git delete transients, which actually adds an option for me to do that. So I didn't even show you that, did I? So if I save that, we've got our we've now got that. So we've now got all that in there, and we've now got a new option down here, delete all transients, and that allows us to delete all transients. That's what that snippet does. I wanted that for the updater, and I didn't even use it. I've got one here that runs an activation item for all my green shift stuff. This one here allows me to enable download and themes and plugins. So it gives a download option. So if I go to plugins now, I'll have a download option next to them so that I can download them. These snippets are dynamically loaded as well. I don't have to manually register them. What it does is as I add them to the snippet folder on the plugin, as I update it, it automatically reads that folder and locks them out. This one here now enables Email It WP, which is another of my plugins. So if we go to tools afterwards, we should see an Email It settings, and then it's automatically publicized my email settings so that it's good to go. And that now means that this server can use the API from Email It to send emails. So if I turn that off, that's that one done. This one here allows me to use a remote media server. So if I go save that one and go to tool settings, actually I think this one, remote media library, I can put in a remote URL, a email or username, and an application password for that user, and I can then pull that WordPress instance's media data from their site and install it into this particular site's media library. Useful for some of these demo videos that I do where I don't want to constantly keep uploading the same images. I can just put the remote details in using a tool like this one here, but License Buddy. Set this up to install, add those details, and then test that connection, and then it adds a new item to my media library up here to refresh the remote media, and then it will populate the media again. I'm happy to give a video on that if people want to see that. What else have I got here? This one here just removes Fluent CRM branding, much like the remove cadence notice ones. So on the free version of Fluent CRM, this doesn't send out any items. Update lock remover. So I don't know if this has ever happened to anyone, but when you do an update for a core update and it fails, it locks the update for a period of time. update lock remover just allows you to bypass that lock. It removes the database option and allows you to then immediately update. And the last one is WAF Rules version 3, which runs a version of a plugin for Cloudflare Rules Wizard, which was created by it uses Troy's version 3 WAF rules, and I can't remember what he uses as his but Rob's created this plugin, and I've just created a modified version of it to run as a snippet within this, so that allows me to put my API key in my email, my account ID, save it, and then I can automatically add my Cloudflare settings to all of my Cloudflare sites as I need to. And that can be turned on and off as need be. So that's that one. And that's really all it does in terms of that. But it started off as just an updater to use for my repo, and as things have gone on, it's gone into a snippet loader. It's then had the bundler and the repo installer. So it was just an updater. Then I added repo installer. Then I thought, actually, I want a bundle installer, so I built the bundle installer. Then I wanted to load some of these snippets up, and I thought, how do I do that? I don't really want to keep having to install WP Codebox, download them. Some of these I use all the time, particularly for some of these demo videos. And this allows me to get over some of those issues and done. So if I'm using a server that doesn't have an email account attached to it, and I haven't done for example, an email it deploy for GridPane as an example, so that's installed automatically as an MU plugin for me. But this say I'm not using my GridPane, I'm using something else. This say I'm using Server Avatar. I haven't set that up to do the same. I can install the site, set that up, just quickly enable email it WP, and then all my emails are automatically being sent via the email it WP API. It's taken over, it's done, it's hooking into WP Mail from the second it's saved, and those settings are there. They can be modified, they can be changed as needed, but they are there. They are good to go, and we are doing it. We are sending it. And that's how it's been built. That's why it does what it does. As I say, these snippets are really useful. I don't have to manually add them. I can just drop a new snippet into the file, push the version, send it to my update server. And in fact, I won't do that now. There'll be nothing in this snippet. I will push a version now. So let me just grab that off screen. Open up my code. Grab that there, push a new version, and I will add a new snippet in that doesn't do anything because it's temporary. New document video.php. Yep, save that. Let's then send that to a new folder. Create a new. Push it to the repo. That's going. Give it a second. And with a bit of luck, because it's not a very big file, it'll already be there. It's not yet. We'll cheat. We'll remove the transients. So, tools. Delete all transients, delete all transients. It's doing it. There we go. We've got an update here, so I'm going to update that now. That's updated. So now if I go to this up here, load snippet, I just created this one here, and it's done, and it's there, and it's good to go. So that's how easy it is for me to add a snippet to these to run. I can add them, same as the comp files. Actually, I said that I showed you some comp files at the beginning that weren't included. Well, they should be included in this version because it's the version that I was working on for those comp files. So now I should have the main WP one. So if I want to set up a dashboard site, I can just process that, and it will now install me a main WP dashboard site. Probably wasn't the right choice. It's going to push me straight into the dashboard. It did. WP admin, and there we go. Just like that, it's installed all of that and set that all up for me as I wanted to. And again, just like any other bundle, I can remove that from being installed. Bundle items, back to the plugins, and then we're good to go again. So let's delete these anyway. And that's basically how Ninja Updater works. Now, as I said, it started as an updater, and it's grown and grown and grown. I probably wouldn't call it Ninja Updater, and I probably will update it to something else at some time. I quite like, the problem is the one I quite want to call it is already taken by D plugins, so I don't know what to call it yet, because I think Swiss Knife would be a really good name to call this one, but I do sometimes use that plugin, so I can't. I'll have to find a new name for it. But yeah, for those that wanted to know about Updater, how it works and what it does, you can now see how it works, what it does. As I say, I'm happy to talk about some of the install stuff behind the scenes there, about how that works with WP Update Server, how I've customized WP Update Server so that it works with all of the plugins that I usually work, and I can even talk you through how, for example, if I wanted to push this one to my repo, give me a second and grab that out of the way. This one here, I can just click on this and send this to my repo, and you'll see here it basically pushes it to a hard drive on my hard drive, and then using syncbackpro, that will then update that to the repo place, which it's doing now, and then that is available in my repo as a file ready for me to use. So that's how quick I can push a plugin as well. It's just an option in my Windows to send to repo, and it's there. And then I can serve that as an update if I want to, because I don't tend to allow normal updates on any of my plugins. I tend to use my own repo for updates, full stop. And the reason for that is it means that I can override when an update is available, because it stops checking their update server as part of that. So it means that I could have had a chance to test that update manually, make a clone, update it. There's no accidental updates. There's no accidentally pushing on the site and updating it to the latest version and killing the site. I get a chance to really test it, and I only push it to my repo so that it's available as a update when I'm happy that it's not going to cause any issues with my standard installations. Well, I hope that's been an interesting insight into what Updater does, and it answers the questions that I've had about it. A few of you have seen me install bundles on some bubbles, because they tend to be less planned, so they're not usually set up, and I use that on those. And you've asked a question, and I have promised that I would do a video on it, and I've now done it. So yeah, hopefully that's useful. If you do want to see some a video on a WP Updater, or how I just did what I did on the Windows desktop, please do let me know, and I will get that sent for you. I will get that made and uploaded. Thanks for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, or about WordPress or custom development or automation. It really does help. Thank you very much for watching.